What's going on, guys? I'm Christo, and today we're going to be talking about why I don't think the Jordan Love pick for the Packers was actually that bad. So starting off initially, I don't really see much of a problem with this pick because why not be ahead of the game? The Packers don't want to be in a situation how the Patriots are and the Steelers are right now, and where they don't have a quarterback of the future and they don't really have, like a smooth transition like the Packers are trying to set up right now. And just thrusting someone unproven into the starting role week one doesn't always work. The next thing is that Jordan Love is a hit or miss prospect. And if you look into the future a little bit, there aren't very many, real top quarterbacks that are being highly scouted or that teams are going to tank for. And if they are, they're not going to fall to the Packers. You have Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence in the next draft, and then maybe year beyond that, 2 years from now, you can see like Sam Howell from UNC. It's better for what they're doing now instead of looking down the road and saying, well, these guys might be good in a couple of years, or, there might be another quarterback we don't know about yet, instead of just hitting the hammer on the head and taking the guy that they like right now. So when the Packers drafted Aaron Rodgers in 2005, Brett Favre had briefly mentioned that he was considering retirement, but it wasn't really something that was, actively in pursuit and was going to happen immediately. When the Packers decided to take Jordan Love, it's not necessarily kicking Aaron Rodgers out the window. It's more just saying, we're ready for the future. We're going to, look ahead and make sure that we can make this transition smoothly as it did with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Because that transition went almost flawlessly, and Aaron Rodgers didn't even end up starting until 3 years later in 2008. And history repeats itself, so I think having Jordan Love sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years and teach him what he needs to know and really mentor him can really help Jordan Love be successful, kind of how it was, like I said, for Brett Favre. And if Aaron Rodgers is upset about this pick, I do not blame him at all for his frustration. He had a quote before saying that, since I've been in the league, since he was drafted in 2005, that the Packers haven't drafted an offensive skill position player in the first round. And now Jordan Love would be the first, which is kind of ironic. So in the last 6 drafts, the Packers haven't taken a receiver in the first 2 rounds. If you think about Ty Montgomery in 2015, he was taken in the 3rd. And besides him, in all of these drafts, they haven't taken a receiver before round 4. The rest of their draft was atrocious. I think taking A.J. Dillon in the 2nd round was absolutely ridiculous. They have Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, who are both 2 consistent guys who are good in the pass game, fit their scheme really well. They didn't need a 3rd running back. They need a consistent number 2 wide receiver behind Davante Adams. And this is one of the deepest wide receiver classes of all time, maybe the deepest ever. And they were the only team in the NFL to not take a receiver this year in the draft. And that's kind of ridiculous. And that's where, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I would be extremely frustrated. I don't really see why they would just kind of throw that away and not take a chance, in the 2nd round and the 3rd round on some of these guys who are still on the board. They have Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Allen Lazard, and they signed Devin Funchess just now, all behind Davante Adams, and that's not really a core that's going to win you a Super Bowl. They needed to address the wide receiver situation and get another playmaker for Aaron Rodgers. So if you look at their stats in college, they were actually pretty similar, but I will give the edge to Jordan Love. So for Aaron Rodgers at Cal, he completed 63% of his passes for 5,469 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. He went 18-8 overall with a bowl win and a bowl loss. And for Jordan Love at Utah State, counting his sophomore and junior year only, he also completed 63% of his passes for 6,969 yards, 52 touchdowns, and 23 interceptions. He also went 18-8 overall with a bowl win and a bowl loss. So pretty similar there. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that Jordan Love is a can't-miss prospect. So you can't fault the Packers for trying not to miss out. He's got great size at 6'4", 223, is an underrated athlete carrying the ball. He likes to experiment with arm slots and has a quick release. He can make any throw and has a nice touch on the ball. I think the Packers will be really glad that they made this pick 10 years from now. And that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.